have in front of me a HiWatch 16 channel NVR. It's 5 megapixel and 8 ports, and they're all PoE powered. Okay, it's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. So HiWatch, as you probably know, are a brand, consumer brand by Hikvision, which is the world's leader in CCTV equipment. The specs on this is actually incredibly high. 5 megapixels, very high, and the fact that it can support SPOE, really impressive. It also comes with alarm functionality built into it. So what I'm going to do is just going to give a spec of exactly what you get with it, and then the typical applications of here. So it comes in this outer box here, and if we just look at the front of the unit, an awful lot of functionality that you have on the app is just built in there. So in terms of recording, playing back, all the rest of it here. We have a USB port here on the front, which is used for adding a mouse normally, or you could add an external hard drive for extracting recording, something like that. If we look in the back here, we'll just go through. Here are 8 PoE ports. So when we plug this in, these lights will flash. So not alone is this taking in the image from the camera, but it's also, of course, coming along and it is powering the camera directly as well. So that's the idea, the PoE itself. We have a LAN connection here. The reason they can support 16 channels is simply that we could use a switch in combination with this. So we could add on, if it's an ordinary switch, we'll say we could just have 6 cameras that are feeding in and are powered locally using a 12 volt 2 amp power unit, or 1 amp power unit, or we could use a PoE switch directly with it, and that would allow us to come along and power it there. So on the freetv.ie range, we have a huge range of switches, both PoE, non-PoE, 100 meg, and also 1 gigabyte switches as well. So we have the alarm functionality here. That's really handy, we'll say. If you have a monitored system here, which you're linking into, it can trigger alarms. So you're picking up sensors, movements, things like that, and it'll feed into the monitoring station, or you can use it to activate text messages directly to your phone, something like that. In terms of outputs on it, if you want to look directly to it, we can use a VGA output here to feed directly into a monitor, or we could use the HDMI straight over to a television. We've the LAN connection and then a USB here again, and then with the on-off switch on it. So in terms of the hard drive it'll take inside, you can take up to 2 different hard drives inside. I think 4 terabytes in each, so it's about, I think it's a max of 8 terabytes on this. It might be slightly larger than that, maybe 12, but that's my understanding of it. So if we just come along, we'll say, and we're thinking about the PoE switches we have in it then, the PoE cameras on it, you could use, let's say, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5 megapixel IP camera on it. And if we put it in context there, a HD 2 megapixel camera is equivalent of a HD channel on your Sky HD box, and once you get up to about 4 megapixel, it's getting the equivalent of a 4K thing. So this picture here is beyond that quality again. So traditionally, they would have set, we'll say, HiWatch to be considerably lower spec, consumer spec than the Hikvision. But what's happening is technology is becoming so cheap, and the marketplace is so competitive. They're being forced to add more and more of the high-end specs into the HiWatch range. So suddenly the gap in between where we are with Hikvision and professional and HiWatch domestic isn't so great. So in reality, you could use something like this either for a domestic application, or you could use it for a full-end commercial application as well. Now most professional installers will still go with the Hikvision, but it's not necessarily the case that they will. The thing about it is you can go for a unit almost identical to this without any PoE. It's about half the price of it then, but the reality is that there is a saving by having the PoE built in, simply because it saves in power units and it makes the setup that much cheaper. The thing to know with the PoE cameras is the run lengths you can have from the NVR back to where the camera is very long. I mean, you can realistically expect 100 meters or more in between the two. It'll still power the camera quite well for you. So that's it anyway, an overview of the HiWatch 16 channel NVR, 5 megapixel and 8 ports that are PoE.